Let me just check and make sure. Okay, we're live on all channels. Hey, everybody. Hello. Welcome to this Wednesday. It's another wonderful day out there. So today, I wanted to ask you guys a question, is if you're feeling overwhelmed, do you feel like you're not getting things done that you want to get done? Do you feel like you're not moving towards creating the dreams that you want to create? Like you just feel like you're just not, hey there, welcome for joining. Do you feel like you're just not getting to a place that you want to get to, that, you know, the end of the day comes by and you're so many things that you wanted to do, you don't feel like you are able to get to where you wanted to go, and you feel like whatever it is you're dreaming about is just not happening for you, and you feel like you're not balanced? Like, these are some very important topics, and that's what we're talking about today. And so we're just going to jump right in, because the thing is like we all have the same 24 hours in the day, and it's up to us to allocate it. Not, you know, even the most successful people in the world, even the people you look at and you think maybe they have a perfect life, or they are doing things that you wish you were doing, they have the same 24 hours that they allocate to their day as you do. And so I think it's really important for us to realize that, like, we all have that same time period. And one of the ways that I think it's really easy for us to see, you know, how we create balance is through our priorities. And one of the most important ways to see what you prioritize, or one of the ways that you can see how you prioritize things, is look at the last 24 hours that you've had. Then look at your last 48 hours, your 72 hours, and even the last week. Be conscious about looking at and honest with yourself about how you spent your time. What were you spending your time in the furtherance of the things that you want to accomplish? Were you spending your time in the furtherance of pursuing your dreams? What were you doing in your time? Because sometimes also, you know, you can look at your last 24, 48 hours and you can say, man, they were awesome, but I wasn't allocating them to the furtherance of my dreams. But you, in that case, have prioritized something differently. And I think it's also important for us to understand why we're prioritizing things and how we're prioritizing things. Because balance is, the idea of balance is something that's a bit of a fallacy. Like, you're always going to have to put something else as a priority over something else. And sometimes there are fires, and there are times in life that are winters, so to say, and springs. Like, there are times where we really have to put our head down and focus on what we want to create and focus on building that momentum. But if you're in a place where you're saying, hey, I want to create something in my life and I don't feel like I'm moving the needle at all, well, really start taking a look at how you spent the last 24, 48, and 72 hours, like I said, and see how you're spending that time. You know, when I did this exercise for myself, I started seeing, like, there are efficiencies that I can create. Like, we all spend time in different ways. And the idea that this whole work-life balance idea sometimes gives us the illusion that, like, the thing is like, work can be enjoyable, and we always think that, you know, when you're working hard, that means you're doing something good. But sometimes you're working hard and you're not moving towards anything that brings you joy. You're just burning yourself out. But when you're working on something that you are really enjoying and it is something that you love, then sometimes, like, you don't refer to it as work. So that's just like a little thought to think about. So what can you do, really? So what I really want to encourage you guys to do is, if you are in a place where you're feeling unbalanced, where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling stressed, and you're feeling like you're not getting to where you want to go, really start looking at how you're spending your time and what priorities you're set for yourself, and look at those priorities. And if you see that, like, you've set something as a priority, which includes your free time, and you're really enjoying that, allow yourself to own it, because it is okay to enjoy ourselves. Like, I had a couple weeks ago where I prioritized Formula One and time with my friends, and it was incredible. I had the most magical weekend, and I own that. And that is okay for us to take time and prioritize family, friends, and free time, but also to take time for the things that we want to build. Because if you have a dream, you need to work on it every day. It's like, if you're moving somewhere, you need to start packing at some point. And once we start doing something, you start building momentum, and that gets you step by step to where you need to go. So these are just some of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today, because I think it's just really important for us to really just start being a little more gentle with ourselves, loving ourselves more, because the idea of balance is something that we create for ourselves. Like, someone's idea of balance is, someone's definition of balance doesn't have to be the same definition of balance. If someone wants to work 16-hour days, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to work 16-hour days. But if they're working those 16-hour days, loving every minute of it, and it's in the furtherance of what they're hoping to accomplish, then that is what they need to do. And that's how they have set their priorities, because in that sense, what they are spending their 16 hours a day on is their priority. So when you look at how you're spending your time, set your priorities. If you need to reshuffle your priorities, do that. And I got a really good tip from a good friend of mine recently. And so when you're at the end of the week, ask yourself, what have you accomplished in the furtherance of what you're hoping to accomplish? Ask yourself what you've done. Like, how have I moved the needle forward for what I'm hoping to accomplish? Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. So ask yourself, how have I moved forward on moving the needle on what I want to accomplish? What can I do moving forward? How can I reshuffle my priorities to move that needle forward? And check in with yourself, because if you don't check in, you're not going to be able to create analytics or even know if you've even moved the needle. So that's it for me. Really just short and quick, as it usually is. Wanted to give you guys a little injection of inspired insights. Be gentle with yourselves. Know that, you have 24 hours just like everyone else. And if you didn't get it today, you can try tomorrow and try again. And, tomorrow's a new try. Next week is a new try. Just keep moving forward, doing the best that you can. And I'm here to support you guys. See ya.